rediscover these innate qualities of love and light and wisdom and compassion and generosity, nobility, all those things. So in the first sutra of the second chapter, Patanjali gives us a kind of a recipe for a successful sadhana. In order for our sadhana to truly render great accomplishment, it needs to contain certain critical ingredients. Do you want to know what they are? Okay, you willing to pay extra? Traditionally, the Yoga Sutras are studied through like a call and response format, since we're in Sanskrit, probably not your first language. So if I say the Sanskrit word, if you could say it back, that's going to make it maybe more interesting and fun and keep you awake for this first part, okay? You ready? Tapaha. Tapaha. Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya. Ishvara. Ishvara. Pradhanani. Pradhanani. Kriya. Kriya. Yoga. Yoga. What does it all mean? Tapaha. You know this word? Tapaha. Tapaha literally means to heat, to cook, to burn. What does it mean in terms of practice? I like to call it the sacred fire. What is the purpose of the sacred fire? Well, there's another sutra that explains that. Well, we'll skip ahead of that one just to provide more clarification here. Okay, again, if you could repeat these words. Kaya. Kaya. Indriya. Indriya. Siddhi. Siddhi. Ashuddhi. Ashuddhi. Kashaya. Kashaya. Tapasaha. Tapasaha. So, Kaya. Kaya means the body. Indriya refers to the organs of perception. The sense organs are called the indriyas. The eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the skin. The mind and the heart are also considered to be organs of perception. Kaya indriya siddhi, there's that word. What does siddhi mean? In this case, it refers to mastery or power. Kaya indriya siddhi ashuddhi. Shuddhi means purity. In Sanskrit, if you put an A in front of a word, what happens to the meaning? Opposite. So Shuddhi is purity. What is Ashuddhi? Impurity, yes. Kashaya means to eliminate or destroy. And Tapasaha, again, I like to call it the sacred fire. But what is the purpose of the sacred fire? To remove impurities and to bring mastery to the body and the sense organs. Anyone have any impurities? Yeah, it's difficult to live in a human body and not accumulate impurities, you know. They're all around us. They're in the air, they're in the water, they're in the soil, they're in the culture. They're everywhere. So if we just keep accumulating impurities without ever detoxifying, what happens to us? We get sick. We die young. So first and foremost, in our sadhana, we want to exercise some self-discipline and purify ourselves and quite literally bring ourselves to our senses. So when we're filled with impurities, what happens to our sense organs? They become dull. When your sense organs are dull, what kind of choices do you make as to how you feed your sense organs? Bad ones. So a good yoga class will quite literally bring you to your senses. So maybe you've noticed after a particularly wonderful yoga class, you walk outside, your senses feel wonderfully open and receptive and discerning. You're in a heightened state of awareness. Have you had that experience? Maybe you felt that yesterday after the class. Maybe. Anyway, in that state of receptivity and discernment, you're more apt to make good choices about how you feed your sense organs. This is important. Self-discipline is important. So tapaha really is all about embarking on the path of some self-discipline. You know, when first yoga class, I was sort of a poster boy for a loser. Maybe I still am, I don't know. You know, I was toxic, I was stressed out, I was depressed, I had a horrible diet, had a stressful, low-paying job, drove a crummy car, hadn't had a date in over a year, and I started doing the practice and everything changed, just in a moment. All of a sudden, I recognized something that had eluded me my first 26 years was the relationship between diet and health. So it's something that the practice does is it brings a sense of heightened awareness to your gastrointestinal system. This is a good thing. You know, a couple of weeks after practice, I was coming home from work. I stopped to get gas, and then I drove the rest of the way home. I got out of my car. There was a car that pulled in the driveway after me, and 3 women got out of the car. I said, hello. They said, hi, we saw you at the gas station. We thought you were really cute. So I follow you home. And so that's when I knew that the yoga was really really sold me on the practice.
They weren't chasing you for money?
Anyway, so my health improved dramatically, almost right away, and undertaking this new discipline, what I noticed was there was a very close relationship between self-discipline and self-esteem. That when we are self-disciplined, we feel better about ourselves. And when we feel better about ourselves, we attract good things into our life instead of bad things. The bad things we attract when we feel bad about ourselves. So very powerful experience to have that kind of shift. Okay, so that's stage one, tapaha, first purification. And this process of tapaha is sometimes likened to the refining of gold. If you have impure gold and you want to refine it, what do? You heat it up, you melt it down. And in that liquid state, you have a separation of the impurities, which are skimmed off. Or if you've ever made ghee, same kind of thing, right? You melt the butter, the milk solids, the artery clogging milk solids that float to the top, you skim them off. So tapaha is designed to work the same way. We heat ourselves up and we get this separation of essential and non-essential. We try to skim off the non-essential and just keep what is essential and pure. Yeah, that makes sense. Taking classes with Guruji was always like being dipped in fire. Afterwards, you walk away feeling completely cleansed, and like you let go of something that you didn't really need, something that was just sort of clogging you up and weighing you down. Very important process, the process of tapaha. And unfortunately, it's not necessarily a comfortable process. When we try to engage ourselves in some sort of strong self-discipline, there's going to be natural resistance that comes up. Mental resistance, emotional resistance, physical resistance. So this is a practice that requires